all weird today. There we go. Can you guys hear me okay? My thing's being so weird today. I don't know what's going on with it. All right. I know it's kind of last minute, but I just wanted to do this and just sending that to Tammy for when she's ready. Okay, I'm coming back, I think. There we are. Hi. Okay, so there's a couple reasons I wanted to do this, and I'm just gonna chit chat while people kind of come in, like I always do. So as you guys know, as you guys can see, I do have figured out a way to set this up behind me. I'm wondering if I should move. I don't know if you guys can really see it because of the banner. Hello, Chris. There, now you guys should be able to see it better. Hello. Okay. So there's a reason I wanted to do this, and I've done it with Jolissa and I've done it with Kyle Moorman. I haven't really bugged Kylie. I am not one that just keeps doing readings and more readings and more readings because it can really mess up the energy. And I wanted to give Kylie a chance to say what she wanted to say, whether it be to her family, whether it be validations to let you guys know I'm really talking to her, or whatever she wanted to talk about. I was going to give her the floor and let her do what she wants to do. She kind of started showing me stuff yesterday and coming in yesterday and giving me anxiety all day. So I figured I would give her the chance to speak. Usually when I'm done with cases, I'm done with cases unless I feel pulled to do a mediumship reading in this way. And, I did make a post yesterday and I hope that it's not misunderstood. Okay. I was not putting down any channels. I was not putting down people that use tools. It's perfectly, I used to use tools. I started with cards. Okay. It's just something that, I still have cards. I mean, I just don't get into them as much as I should, just for the heck of it. But, there is something that I wanted to say that I don't know if a lot of people know it. I'm an educator, okay? I love to teach about this kind of stuff. I love to educate people about this kind of stuff. And I don't know if many people realize that, your mind, if your mind is made up on something, it can literally sway not only a reading, rods, pendulums, cards, EVP, you can kind of hear what you want to hear sometimes, not always. Some, there's some that, don't do that, but there's some that do because they have their mind made up, right? EVPs are really hard to decipher. And it can be anybody talking. Okay. This is not to be anybody that puts down any of those channels. That's great. That's wonderful. They can do what they want to do. That's their prerogative. I just try to teach to let people know that if you don't go in with a blank mind, if you don't go in not knowing anything about a case, it's going to come out in the reading. That is why I choose to try not to know anything about cases. So if anybody sends me a case, please do not tell me anything about that case. I do not like to have any thoughts about it whatsoever, one way or another, because I feel sometimes it's hard to tell what is coming to you and what is coming from you. And there's a point where you kind of have to leave spirit alone. Okay. It can get disrespectful just to constantly bother them. They're on the other side trying to transition, trying to, do what they need to do on the other side. Okay. That's why I did 2 readings with Kylie and I stopped. And the only reason again that I decided to do this today was because I wanted Kylie to give a message if she had one to those that she wanted to give it to, or say whatever she wanted to say, because she did come to me, and a little bit after she was found, she came to me in my car when I was on my way home. I could see her in the side of my seat, and she like kind of had her feet crossed and she had her tennis shoes on and a sweatshirt on, and she was talking to me. I think I posted what she talked about, but it was basically that she didn't like what was going on with her case. She didn't like that people were taking it to extreme, because it really does, I don't know what's the word. It tarnishes their memory in a way. And they already have their soul contract. They already know and understand why whatever happened. And why they're on the other side. They already understand that when they're over there. Okay, so when people pass away, they know all of this stuff. They know if a case is going to get solved. They know if they're going to be found. They know what their soul contract was. They know what the purpose was of this. So there's probably a bigger purpose behind it that we may not know or understand. And good to see you guys here. I know it's kind of last minute, but anyways, I just kind of wanted to throw that out to let you guys know, because, and again, this is not to bash any channels, because someone got ticked off at me yesterday because I said it, but I like to educate people on how this works. Your mind is a very strong component of who you are, and it can sway things. Just try it one time. Sit there and try rods and try pendulum and think. Don't clear your mind and just think what the answer is and see which way it goes. So just, some people are really great with rods and pendulums and cards and all of that. Some people are great with that. And they have a gift for that and a knack for that. And as long as they can clear their mind and they get accurate answers, that's great. I'm just saying, if your mind is made up, like it's murder or conspiracy or something like that, it's going to come out. And the continued reaching out to spirit, like I said, it's a little bit disrespectful, in my opinion. I had a lot of mentors that taught me a lot of things, and this is coming from 10 years of professional experience. This is not like I just stumbled into this one day and I'm trying to educate everybody on something. I've taught a lot of different classes. I've been around for a little while. The reason my channel, I had to start over because it got hacked. So that's why I've been trying to build my subscribers. So this is something that I do professionally, day-to-day basis, all the time for the past, really the past year is really kind of like I really jumped in all the way. But before that, I was still doing it. So it's one of those things where if people don't have mentors, they don't know and they don't understand. There's a lot of people that kind of just jump into this, and that's fine. We can learn as we go. I learned as I went, but I also had mentors to teach me right from wrong. Things that you do and things that you don't do, having respect for spirit, having respect for, someone's family, and having respect for the work that you do. It has to be spirit and divinely guided. And just because an answer isn't what you think it should be, it doesn't mean that by continued readings you're going to get the answer that you want, because the more readings you do, the more messed up the energy gets, and it gets more inaccurate. I don't know if you guys recognize that. I recognize that in my own. The more readings I do, I get further away from the location. It's like I have the location the first reading, the first time, I continue to do locations and I get further away from that. All right, continue to do readings, I get further away from that location. And that's because spirit will give me a perimeter. For instance, in Quentin's case, I had the location the first reading, but with the second reading, they gave me more of a perimeter and went further out with it. And that's the way that I work, and everybody works differently. But one thing that you have to learn how to do in this work is get your ego in check. A lot of people I notice do not have their ego in check. I try my hardest to keep my ego in check. I am very heart-centered and very spirit-guided, and I try to remain that way. Because I could have rode this, I could have rode this train and gotten, I don't know, tons of more subscribers, tons of more views if I wanted to just keep working on Kylie. But I'm respectful, and I didn't feel that it was needed. I knew she was going to be found. I knew what the situation was. I saw her last moments. And that's why I get a little irritated, because that's another thing people don't understand. The collective as a whole, right? I'll say so. The collective as a whole can also influence readings. It can influence the energy, all of that. Like, we can pick up on people's minds, and that's what my mentor used to always teach me, is like, make sure you're not picking up on their minds. Make sure you're getting it from spirit. It's easily done to pick up on what someone thinks or what the collective thinks, because the collective is a powerful force, right? A lot of people, that are, all kind of thinking the same thing, saying the same thing, it's going to start coming out in people's, whatever. That's just, it's easy to pick up on the collective is what I'm saying. Okay. And this is not about who was right, who was wrong. It's not about that. But whenever I'm wrong, I own it. And I'm like, okay, well, they got that one wrong. And, you can ask Tammy about that. I'm very hard on myself, yes, because I don't like to be wrong. And the only reason is because I would never like to put in any wrong information. You know what I mean? And I never want to send people on wild goose chases, and I never want to misunderstand spirit or misperceive things, but we're not going to always be right. We're just not. And that comes with the learning thing, that comes with, we do get everything for a reason. True psychic mediums do get everything for a reason. And sometimes we have to figure out what that reason is. And sometimes it might not make sense right now. And sometimes it makes sense in the future. But it's about, ego is a big thing in this. Like, you have to have your ego in check. And I work very hard to keep my ego in check and be heart-centered. And I just do this for spirit. Like I said, this is not for views. This video is not for views. This video is not for hype. This video is for nothing else than what Kylie wants to say. I wanted to give her the chance to speak because she was giving me anxiety yesterday. She has things that she wants to say. And now that she's transitioned more, I'm hoping that the connection will be good enough to where we can get more from her. Because I feel for a little bit she was maybe not transitioned fully. And that's why it was kind of confusing. But she showed me multiple times in her reading. It was almost like before Jolissa took over in the second one, it was like she made a turn and then it went dark. And then that's why Jolissa took over, was because she was basically saying she crashed. But sometimes they don't show me everything. And that's because that's for me not to have to feel everything. But she gave me, if you guys go back, she gave me extreme anxiety prior to her crashing. And she showed me multiple things yesterday that I'm thinking she's going to come through with tonight. That I was like, all right, fine. I'll do this so that you can share with whatever you want to share with. So that's what this is about tonight. And I just wanted to make sure that people understood what my post was about. Again, it's nothing negative. Someone said I was putting down channels. I did not name one channel. I did not put down anybody. I'm just educating on how this works, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know that you can sway a rod or a pendulum or whatever with your mind. Try it. You can. Trust me. I have noticed that that's why I don't really use tools, because they seem inaccurate to me, because I think, did you see that? Now that's good. Now I'm gonna be focused on that now. But anyways, I just, I noticed I've tried to use a pendulum and it hasn't been validated for me yet. I noticed that my pulls and feels on a map are more accurate than a pendulum has ever been. During Merced 4, I tried the pendulum, and I was more accurate with my feeling. It did not have me in the area they were at, but yet my feeling did. So that's learning about trusting yourself more. So it's a great gateway, these tools. It's just you have to learn how to use them and learn how they work, and know that your mind has to be completely clear. You cannot have any feelings one way or another about something. That was my point that I was trying to make yesterday. And again, I'm like a teacher. Like, people come to me for insight all the time, and I can't shut up when I'm trying to teach something. That's just the way it is. And spirit pushes me to teach all the time. It's every time I pull a life purpose card for the heck of it, it's a teacher comes up. I got a wolf as a guide. They're known as teachers. Like, that's just who I am. I try to educate how this works, so that people understand it, because I don't think people really understand how this works. Like, they think we're supposed to know everything, and it's not. It's always bits and pieces, right? So, okay, enough with the blabber blabber. I just wanted to kind of explain that in case anybody got the wrong idea, and the reason why I'm doing this, because again, this is for Kylie. This is not for me. This is not for anybody else. This is for Kylie to be able to say what she wants to say to whoever she wants to say it to, and show whatever she wants to show, which I feel like she's going to show me what her last moments were and what happened, because that's been coming through since yesterday. And I felt the push all day today, and I said, you know what, Shannon, we got to do this today, because I need to let it go. I need to let her go. And again, I'm respectful. I don't go bugging her all the time. I'm only doing this because she came to me. So, and I feel, I feel strongly about that because she knew I would listen. So I already cleared before I came on. So I'm going to bring Shazam on, and Shazam's just going to be on just to kind of bounce off. I noticed that my mediumship is stronger when I do that. Why, I don't know. It's maybe pulling off her intuitiveness is making me a lot stronger when I do readings. So yeah, I can't do that though, Tammy, because you can't see the EMF with the donation link up. So that's why it's like, I had it up and then we couldn't see it. So I took it down. But if anybody wants to donate, everything is in the bottom, or if anybody wants to do any, support me in any way possible, or support my work with spirit, I should say, everything is in the link below. And this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, guys. And this is psychic medium impressions. Okay, it's not factual. I mean, you know how I feel about it. What I get is what I get, and I feel it's factual, but it's not factual for entertainment purposes only. So we're gonna bring her on so that I can. Oh wait, I need to bring up Kylie's picture. Thank you, Eyes of Green. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be that we're supposed to have these good intentions and a good heart and understand how this works before we go into it. I was just lucky. I had a lot of good mentors. And I've learned a lot along the way, and I'm always constantly learning and growing. I don't know everything, but I do like to just kind of spread what I do know, because that's just who I am. I'm trying to look for, you know what? There's that damn picture again where she's squinting. I wish I had a picture where she wasn't squinting. Okay. This is going to be interesting. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Where are you? That's weird. Oh, see, my freaking... There we go.
There we go.
I did updates today, and my keyboard is all jacked up. Like the mouse and the keyboard, that's doing weird stuff. So it's like I don't even want to use it.
It said my audio was gone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, then just kind of like, if you know anything that I say, validated. If not, just kind of say yes, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right.
Because, I mean, I have a feeling she's going to bring up a little bit more personal information that we might not know, right. But if anybody can validate it, then I try to do readings as I try to get validations so that I'm proving that I'm talking to her. That's what I love to do with mediumship, is get the validation. Stuff that maybe I don't know, which is kind of hard when I don't have someone to validate it for me, but we'll see how it pans out.
All right.
And again, whatever I tell you guys is what Kylie's telling me. I won't make up my own words, agendas, anything like that. This is all coming from spirit. Those of you that have watched me for a long time know that I would never just say something just to say it or to make myself right. It's still, as you guys know, I mean, it's just going to go along with what I already got, right? Because I got it before we ever knew she was missing, so we just kind of stuck with it. And that's another thing, is you got to trust. You always got to trust spirit. Always got to go with the first ping. Always got to go with your first instinct and what you first get, because you can sway really easily from that if you go away from the first thing you get. That's what my one mentor told me. Always go with your first ping. The more readings you do, it's like you get further away. So, okay, here we go. All right, I've got some anxiety, and I think she was doing that to me all day yesterday. She's coming in and out. my chest hurts, which kind of makes sense. Great. And my head feels foggy. I feel a little out of it, a little almost kind of dizzy feeling, I guess you could say. So she's laughing. I don't know if she had that kind of laugh that was just like, you would know her laugh from a mile away is the way it comes across.
Okay.
And I feel like sometimes her laugh was really loud.
Yeah.
Almost like a loud, obnoxious kind of thing, right? And this came in the first reading as far as her like schooling and everything. I got that before, but it's kind of coming in again. She shows me the A on the paper. She shows me she was actually really proud of her accomplishments. And she says, I kind of got a little off track. It was like, I worked so hard. I worked so hard to get through school and to get good grades so I could go to a good college, because I get a reference to the fact that, she wanted to graduate early. She wanted to go to college. Like, she was kind of grown up beyond her years, and she wanted to be grown up beyond her years. Like, she was ready to leave the nest, so to speak, is how it comes out. So I feel like she was like super smart. Like, I don't know if she was really all that street smart, but book smart. She was really, because she's even saying she wasn't very street smart about things. Like, she didn't make the greatest decisions, but she is saying that she was like book smart. Like, and she picked things up really easily, is what she says. She picked things up really easily. And it wasn't hard for her. Like, sometimes school is hard for people. School was not hard for her. Like, it was kind of easy, even though, but it's like, she still says that I worked really hard to get where I was, and I was ready. I was excited to start this point of my life as far as going to college and being grown up. And she says, but I think I became grown up a little too fast. Like, I wanted to party a lot. I'm getting chills in my head right now. Which we all know that, right? We were all teenagers. We were all 18, 19, 20, 17, 18, 19, 20. We know how that goes. And that's just the day and age. And it's like I don't know if she smoked a little bit more than she should have. That's coming in. I know that was that night, and that came in my reading. So just because that came out, that was in her system, that actually was in my reading. I only got 2 things. I did not get any hard stuff. I got those 2 things, but even together that can make you cross faded is what you want to call it.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. It's almost like she started to kind of, like, she knew what she wanted. I'm trying to get what she wanted to do. Because I don't know if she was decided on that or not. I don't know why I see it in a white coat. White coat for me is usually like some kind of medical thing, some kind of medical field. I don't know if that's something she considered or actually was going to go into, but that can be nurse, doctor, vet, anything that's like along the medical field. I think, or having to do with science is another thing it kind of makes me think of, but I just see her like in a white coat. I hear the word psychology. So that would also be medical, but I don't know. I don't think we can even validate this, but I'm hoping it makes sense if her mom ever sees it. So let me see. Hi, Sharon. It was okay. So she shows me like, it's weird. Okay, so I hear like she's popular, but at the same time she felt like an outcast. I don't know if that makes sense. Like people liked her, but at the same time she didn't really feel like she fit in. And it's like she's saying that there were a couple friends that kind of got her into partying more, or that she met when she was partying, and it kind of continued. She talks about always thinking she was going to make right choices, but she's like, humans aren't perfect. We're not perfect. We're not going to always make the right choices and decisions. And she's like, that's part of, she says that's part of growing up. So, and I don't know if like her parents got her the car, but she shows me like she liked to drive. Like I see long drives or drives where she like got the window down again with her music was a big thing because it came in the first reading. Like I would hear it blaring. So I don't know if she made it blare when she was driving or played it pretty loud. But I also get her kind of singing along to it. Like jamming is what she says. But it's one of those feelings like, you kind of, when you're a teenager, you like to go on drives. Or I know sometimes I did. So it's one of those feelings. But I get like road trips. I don't know if she actually took road trips or she just wanted to take road trips. But I get road trips and I get I'm hearing like casinos, which is kind of weird, but like she's not old enough to go in the casino, but I don't know if she had a fake ID. I'm not really sure what this is about because I can hear like if I'm standing in a casino and the machines are going off, like that's what it feels like, unless it's just the area that had casinos. But I keep getting road trips. Like there's road trips that she took with her friends and that she really liked to take with her friends. Okay, and so she's wanting to. Okay. This is going to be really like kind of personal and I don't care what people say about it, all right? Because this is not me talking, this is her. So she's talking about Jagger right now. And she is saying that and I'm getting the chills with that.
I've got the chills too.
Okay. So and I've still got the chills. Really bad chills. She really cared about him.
Yeah.
It was like they were best friends. Like they had more of like a friendship kind of relationship. But she said he was kind of clingy sometimes. He was kind of clingy sometimes and he was kind of annoying sometimes, but I still loved his weirdness. And she's like, looking back, I feel like I should have done, something different. Or we should have been like different at times, maybe I shouldn't have been so hard on him and I should have accepted like his clinginess because she says he was just immature in certain ways. But she says he would never hurt me. I hear and I keep getting chills with this, but she talks about he idolized her. And she said his heart is broken and she does not like how everything was turned on him. Right. She doesn't like that at all. She says it's not fair. It's not fair. And I don't know if he was her first boyfriend or her first like real boyfriend. But there's also a reference to, I don't know if it's a prom or a dance or something like that. I can see like she's showing me they're dancing and they're at this like kind of school dance. It feels kind of like the prom is what kind of reminds me of, like they're dressed up nice.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it feels like it feels like the prom or homecoming or something like that. It's some kind of bigger dance that she's talking about, and there's something about they had a song. They had a special song that was just theirs. And so she shows me like a corsage. So I don't know if he gave her a corsage or something like that, but she shows me a corsage and she just like not cool. Like not cool the way he was treated. Not cool. And I don't know if those are words that she used, but she's literally just like not cool. She's talking about all her friends. She's like, my choices and decisions. Okay. But she says, you know, yeah, maybe if ands or but, you know, if and when things could have been different, if I would have made different decisions, if they would have made different decisions, but that's not what happened. And she talks about them having guilt as it is. Because I
Right.
get a lot of guilt. I actually get, she shows me Jagger crying at night. She shows me him really struggling with this internally, and that the fact that everybody's pointing fingers on him at him, it kind of, I get like a spiral kind of into depression.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it feels like he's tried to put on this brave face. He's tried to just remember her, and I feel like there's things that he wanted to say, but he's afraid to say it because he doesn't want to be judged.
Yeah.
Is what she's saying. But she's saying she just wants to tell him thank you. Okay, she wants to tell him thank you for being in her life, although he was annoying sometimes and a little overbearing. He still cared about her, and I'm getting chills the entire time I'm talking
Yeah.
about him. So I know that it's true. This is chills is validation for me. This is how she really felt about him. Okay, um, and she's talking about like her friends. Like she didn't have, like she had a lot of friends, but is there a Maggie or who's the one that starts with an M? Is it Maggie? Maggie or Maddie?
It's Meg
Maggie?
or Magdalene, I think, but they call
Okay.
it Megs. I
Okay,
think.
because I keep hearing Maggie.
Okay.
So I don't know if she called her Maggie at one point, but there's a, because I don't know, like the only two people I know is Jamie and Jamie. Jagger and Sammy. I just put the two names together. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay, because I wonder if she was called Maggie, like
Yeah.
as a short thing. Like I don't know if she only called her that, like Maggie or Mags, like
Yeah.
obviously, but it's almost like that was her nickname. Um, I see her putting her arm around her and they're laughing. So I feel like they were closer than her and Sammy.
Yes.
She was more of a best friend, is what it comes across, because she shows me the. I get a friendship bracelet. So friendship bracelet to me is usually like maybe they shared one of the same thing, like they both had the same bracelet or they both had the same something in
Right.
it, or they had something that recognized their friendship of who
Yeah.
they were together. I also get a lot of there is permission. There is permission here to. Was she and Jagger like seeing each other, or is there something with her and Jagger being friends or something? There's something about it. There's permission for them to go on with their lives and do whatever they want to do, and she's like, let go of the drama. So she's like, you know, kids these days and us, we always have this drama, you know, we always make everything into drama. And it's funny because like she's making me do this weird thing, but
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
she
Megs was
kind
her.
of rolls her eyes at the drama. I don't
Yeah.
feel like she was like she didn't really like drama, and she's like this. She's talking about how this whole situation's been absolute ridiculousness, is what she says.
Yeah.
But she is, she just puts her arm around her, and I get like smiling with her with Matt. I keep calling her Maggie, so that must be something that she called her at some point. I get there's a reference to, you know, how like whenever girls kind of sleep over at each other's house and they kind of stay up and talk, there's a reference to that. So I don't know if they stayed at each other's house and they would kind of do like sleepovers and talk about boys, she said, and do those kind of things, but that comes up. She says there was a little bit of studying, but also I get um they did things that teenagers do, you know, let's
Yeah.
smoke a little or whatever. Um And she keeps petting this dog, and he's like a kind of a hairy dog, and I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's on the other side with her or if he's here still or she had a dog or used to have a dog. I'm not really sure where the dog fits in at, but she's like petting this dog or like ruffling the dog. She says, I don't blame anyone. Again, she takes responsibility. She says it was my choices, my decision. And she said this way back when I did the reading about how she should have called her mom and made different decisions and choices. And also, okay, so now we're going to go into her mom because she's wanting to talk about her mom now.
Okay.
So she talks about, so she's saying that she's got tears in her eyes and she says, I'm sorry. Because she says, I made a promise. So I don't know if she made a promise to her that she wouldn't drink and drive or that she would be smarter about her decisions. It's like, I'm sorry I broke that promise. I know I made a promise kind of thing is what's coming in. And she says, my mom was a cool mom, or she tried to be a cool mom. And now she's getting kind of bashed for it. But she was letting me live my life is what she's saying. Like, I was about to go to college. She was letting me be independent and kind of grown up. But I also get like not just a mother-daughter relationship, but kind of a friendship relationship. Yeah. And so she says it doesn't matter if she would have told me no, I would have would anyways. Because I feel like she was headstrong, and like if she wanted to go do something, she was going to go. And this was her celebration of all her hard work, is the way that she looked at it. And she didn't look at it as being anybody's, fault but her own. She's like, my mom, even though I wasn't 18, my mom viewed me as an adult because I'm getting ready to go to college, and she's trying to trust me. And this might be unpopular opinion. I really don't give a flying crap. I argued with a lot of people about this, but she doesn't want her mom blamed. Because she says it's wrong. She says my mom didn't do anything but be my mom and love me and be a little lenient, let me go somewhere, which again I would have went anyways, is what she's saying. And she's saying people forget what it's like to be a teenager, is what she's saying. People forget what it's like to be a teenager, and not everybody's perfect, is what she's saying. But she shows me, I don't know where this birthday cake is coming in at. I don't know if they still had a birthday cake for her, even though she passed prior to her birthday.
Yes.
Or there was a birthday celebration.
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting chills with that as well. She is showing me like a birthday cake with candles and everything. Oh crap, I lost her picture. With candles and everything, and like a celebration that was done for her birthday.
Yes.
I keep seeing balloons as well. So I don't know if balloons were let go. But that's coming in as well. I Okay, so there was a conversation that she had with her mom, and I feel like it was right before this party. I don't know if it was like the night before or something like that, where she told her mom, it's almost like they had like a heart to heart. I get that kind of heart to heart, and I get like an I love you and a hug. So I feel like it's possible a day or two before, like our souls kind of know, and we do those kind of things sometimes. But it's almost like they had a heart to heart about something, and I don't know if it was college or something. I really don't. Her mom will know, but I see them hugging. So this was a moment of. This was a special moment for her and her mom. I hear the word dorm, so I don't know if she had planned on going to a dorm, or I keep seeing like her plans were like to move out eventually or something like that. But I keep getting dorm, like like you would have at a college.
Right.
So, I don't really know where she was going, but I kind of get like university feel.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Because she shows me like this big university, and I feel like it might have been kind of far from home. And that maybe the two were kind of struggling with that, her
Yeah.
like leaving for college. Because we all know how that feels to leave home and you be kind of torn, like you want to stay, but you want to go and kind of fly.
Right.
Okay, I know this has been out there about the necklace, but she's showing me necklace, and the reason why she wore it is there's a specific reason. But there's also, she keeps bringing up one that maybe her mom gave her or something like that, because it's like I see her mom putting it on her.
Okay.
So I don't know if she had a special one from her mom.
I'm not sure, but probably did.
Right. Because she keeps showing me as being significant. And okay, there's a reference to when her mom was handed her jewelry back, she broke down. And I don't know if she wears some of her jewelry, but there's a reference to possibly maybe she's wearing her necklace or something like that. Like I feel like that she's wearing something of hers that
Right.
was given back to her. Like that's what she shows me.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was one of those moments. It was almost like worse than the day she heard about it because it was more real.
Yeah.
It was like she said that my mom always had this feeling that I wasn't ever coming home, but she always held out hope because that's kind of what parents do. So, like she kind of knew, like intuitively or whatever, that she was not on Earth anymore, but she um like she didn't want to give up hope. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like there's that feeling. And I don't know who taught her to drive. There's something about, I don't know if it's her mom that taught her to drive or her dad, but there's something about a parent teaching her how to drive. Or letting her drive when she was younger, or there's something like that. Um, okay. I just hear I love you, Mom. I need her to know I love her. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I left her in this way. I'm sorry we didn't have more time. I'm sorry for my choices and decisions. Um, and there's a reference to saying you are the best mom, and I need you to know that. I need you to know that I appreciate everything that you did for me. I appreciate even the times that we fought because I know that you cared. Because I feel like sometimes they butt heads a little bit, but she's even appreciative of those moments. And she said, I'm appreciative of you being my mom. And there's a reference to, like, I feel like everything was just as it was supposed to be as far as the service went. Like, she wanted it to be more of a party with her friends and everything like that. She didn't want people to cry. Like, she wants people to remember her for who she was. I get her smile again and kind of laughing. Like, she wants to be remembered as that instead of, she says, the girl who drove into the lake.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to be remembered by her passing. She doesn't want to be defined by that. She says that's all that people have focused on. And it's not fair because that's not who I was. That was a decision that I made. And in that moment,
Yeah.
um, she wants to be remembered for who she was. That's a big thing with her. Because there's also a time where I see her like giving change to like a homeless person. I don't know if that's just symbolic of like she would do things like that or what, but I see her like she didn't have a lot, but it's like I see her like digging in change and like handing it to this person.
Wow.
And that could just be showing that she had a good heart
Yeah.
and she was giving and things like that. Um okay. I'm asking her, I said, do you want to go into what happened? Because I'm going to leave this up to her. I'm not going to force her to show me. I'm not going to force her anything. Um, she wants to she wants to talk about it because she feels like the truth needs to come out. She says everybody's looking into everything and they're looking into little things. They're looking into little things and they're making big a deal about little things and they shouldn't be doing that. She says things are as they are. And I take full responsibility.
Yeah.
She shows me that she actually feels like she should have like stayed the night or but she didn't want to be there alone because again I feel like people were leaving or something, but um she says I thought I was okay. I thought I was okay. It was one of those things where like she like again I don't get like she was super messed up.
Right.
But you know, like I got them before, like oh, she had been drinking and smoking, and I feel like there's kind of like a crossfade feeling.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so what she keeps showing me is I hear the words mass exodus, like everybody's leaving at once, and I see all these lights. It's weird because they're like just driving in all different directions. Okay, and she shows me the roads out there. I mean, obviously I know this, but I'm just gonna tell you what she shows me. So she shows me like she couldn't barely see anything. Like the roads were really narrow, really bumpy, really dirty, or like dirt. And she shows me that like you couldn't really see that far in front of you. It was like, you know, just as far as your headlights. She says I got confused, is what she says. Because
Yeah.
I see like everybody leaving and I think she says I got turned around. I got turned around, um, and I was confused. Those are two things that are coming in that she got turned around and confused.
Right.
And she's giving me some anxiety now because this is still hard for her to kind of talk about. Um, I also hear the word wrong turn. She took a wrong turn, which
Yeah.
would account for the left blinker that I got.
Yep.
And she says I got lost.
Yeah.
I got lost. And um, I couldn't see. I couldn't. She talks about not being able to see. Like it's like all black to me. Like when I'm trying to see out of her eyes, it's just dark. It's just black.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like one of those things, you know, when you're like driving and you're like trying to see, am I going the right way? Like that's why I feel like I'm in her car. Like, am I going the right way? And you're like kind of like looking like this, like over your steering wheel. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done that.
Yep.
I have. And
Yeah.
you're trying to just like see where the hell you're going, and you're just like, what the heck? It's
Yeah.
almost like that feeling. And then I think she thought she was going the right way because again, I get that feeling of I'm hitting the accelerator, but
Yeah.
I can't see like the water. Like I couldn't it's almost like I can't see where I'm going.
Right.
And did it rain? Uh I don't know if that area was wet or there was like places where like you know how sometimes little creeks run through or something like that, or it gets a little muddy. It's almost like maybe she thought she was gonna go like through like a mud like a puddle or something. I know that sounds weird.
Oh, yeah. I
Um,
was gun it for that too. So
but
I.
it's almost like she didn't realize it was the lake.
Right.
She's talked because she's showing me like literally what she's showing me is all of these lights going in all different directions. And it's like she tries to follow, but she gets lost. And remember, she's not completely sober. Okay, she admits that.
Yeah.
She probably should have waited till daytime to go. I think she was a little scared being out there at night. I hear coyotes howling, so I don't know if like that was one reason she didn't want to be out there. She just didn't want to be out there by herself at night, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was cold too, and she's like saying I didn't have a blanket. Like that comes across, and I don't really know if she had a blanket or not, but that's how she says it. Like she didn't have a blanket or pillow or anything to like sleep.
Right.
And I think she was already kind of cold.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to understand like the window thing.
Okay.
I don't really understand it. She said she was kind of nauseous.
Okay, yeah.
And like tired. And I'm asking her, I was like, was anybody else involved in this? And she's like, no, like I don't see anybody in her car. It's just her. But her problem is she can't. Oh, she have maybe a little bit of night blindness, or it's just like super dark out there. But really, yeah, but it's almost like I kind of hear like night blindness, but that might be like kind of a symbolic thing.
Right.
Like seeing she was blind in the night, like she couldn't see.
Yeah.
It's weird. She's showing me an owl kind of fly. I don't know what that means. I know owls are kind of symbolic of death, but it's kind of a weird symbolism. It's weird. It's like I hit the accelerator, but I hit the water, but I didn't know the water was there.
Okay.
Is how it comes across.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
But it's like I can't see where the water's edge and the like ground hit. Like
yeah.
It doesn't. And again, I feel like there was something with she was super tired, or I get like this nausea feeling. And it's almost like I stop to try to see, but I think it's okay and I go.
Yeah.
But then I get, it's almost like I get extreme panic. Okay, at this point.
Okay.
Like when she's going in, she doesn't know what to do.
Right.
She says disoriented. She was disoriented, and she wasn't completely sober. And if anybody's ever been like crossfaded, sometimes it kind of hits you in waves.
Yeah.
That's kind of the feeling I get. And this might have been a little more potent than what she was used to as well, as that kind of comes in.
Okay.
But I don't think it like hit her till like she was driving. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird feeling. And then it's like I hit the water and I start panicking.
Yeah.
But it's like dark, and it's weird because I kind of want to say that I'm almost like passed out, but I'm not. Like I don't even know if that makes sense. Like
well, just drinking mixed with being high would
well, yeah, that, but then it also has something to do with the panic.
Right.
Like I know when I panic, I just run around in circles.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what I'm doing. Like when the snake was in the yard, like I was panicked, and I literally was like running around like, what do I do? And that's kind of how I feel with her. Like she's like super panicked, like she doesn't know really what to do.
Yeah.
And then it's like I feel all this water rushing in.
Yeah.
There's something with the window though, like it wouldn't roll up, or it was stuck, or there's some kind of that feeling as well. So I don't know if her window was broken prior to this. Like she was having issues with it, because she's mentioning kind of my window. I'm having like sometimes I have issues with it rolling up and rolling down.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm wondering, it's almost like she was trying to do it to See, I'm not understanding that. I'm not understanding the issue with the window. So I don't know if I'm perceiving that right. But I think she had planned to go out the window and she tried to roll it down because there's a reference to that. Like, I think the back window is, I don't think they roll down all the way in the back, do they?
No.
Because it's like she tried that window, or no, she tried the way it's coming in is it's almost like she tried to roll down the window. She says it was sinking so fast between the disorientation and how dark it was. Like, she couldn't see. Like, she couldn't. She keeps giving me this feeling of like just everything's so dark I can't see shit.
Yeah.
And like not even to like maneuver through my car to get out.
Right.
Like, it's like pitch black. Like, I can't see.
Right.
Like, if someone puts a blindfold on you and tells you to get out of the car, that's how it kind of felt.
Yeah.
Is what she's telling me. But it's like, you know, she thought she would roll down the window. And then all this water started rushing in. And she's like, I can't go out that way because I can't. And I think at one point, too, I kind of feel like, I don't know if she was... I keep feeling like there's some kind of unconsciousness or like between unconsciousness, or it's not like maybe fully knocked out, but like partially, I don't know. And then it was almost like she kind of rolled down both windows at once almost, and thinking maybe if she couldn't get out that one, she could get out the one in the back. But then that one, I don't think she could fit through. That's kind of how it's coming in. And then she's like, I was just trying to find my way out.
Yeah.
And she's like, the water was freezing. That's what she's telling me, because she's going like this, and she's like, the water was freezing. It was pitch black, and she was disoriented, and she wasn't sober. She says she calls it the perfect storm, is what she's calling it. And again, like, I ask her, is, you know, because I only ever see her. I don't see anybody in with her. I just don't. I don't think anybody drove her in there and then jumped out the car. It doesn't come across that way. Sorry for all you people that think that's what happened. That's not what happened. That's not what she shows me. She literally shows me tragic accident, and all the odds were against her at that point because it was completely black. She was panicked. She was disoriented. She wasn't sober, and the cold water and everything, like, she didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why she tried climbing through the car. Because again, I just see, like, I'm blindfolded is what it feels like. She just keeps showing me darkness. Like, I think the darkness really played a big part in the accident and what she was in the water trying to find her way out.
All right.
Because how are you going to see in a car that's going down?
Yeah.
It's pitch black. I mean, you couldn't even see when you were going in the freaking lake. So.
Right, and then it flipped. It had to have flipped that.
Yeah, and it turtled, and I think that kind of threw everything off. But I think she might have already been kind of just like full. I think the car was full of water by that point.
Yeah.
But she says, I'm okay. You know, I'm okay. She said there was a little bit of panic, but it was like, and I'm on the other side. You know, the panic of trying to climb through and all of that. But then it was like, I'm on the other side. She said it was kind of a nightmare for a minute.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Then all of a sudden she shows me on the other side, and she's surrounded by light and angels.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a grandfather figure that steps up and takes her, like, comes and grabs her hand. So I don't know if she has a grandfather on the other side. But there's a grandfather figure. He looks like a grandfather figure, comes across. It'd like to take her hand, you know, to let her know you're on the other side now. And she says that's okay. She says, you know, I lived out. She's talking about living out her soul purpose, her soul contract. And there's something about this case. I don't know if it's supposed to teach people something. I'm not really sure.
Good.
Because it's been a freaking mess. She's like, it's been a freaking mess. That's her words. It's been a freaking mess.
Yeah.
And she talks about it. She's like shaking her head. Like, this is just, You know, she says all that everybody had gone, and she says they're still fighting it. They're still fighting it and still looking at every little thing.
Yeah.
But she says I wanted to talk today to share my story and to tell the people that I love them, especially my mom. Because her mom has guilt. Her mom has a lot of guilt. There's a lot of guilt for letting her go. There's a lot of guilt for not getting up and going to get her. There's a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And I hear leave my mom alone.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't her fault. She's taking responsibility. She says, I was old enough to know better, is the way it comes across. And yes, this is a tragedy. But she keeps swearing to me like no one else was involved. And I've never seen anybody else with her or in the car or anything. It's never come across that way.
Right.
Okay. She says, I wanted to come to you because you knew the truth.
Oh, I just got the chills. Yes.
Yeah. She's like, it's time. It's time for me to. It's time for me to step up and tell people how it really was, because I don't want my memory tarnished, and I don't want the people that I love burdened, and I don't want the people that I love to go through any more pain than they already have, because she talks about this being a huge pain for her, like a huge pain for her family. There's a grandfather figure on this side, so I don't know who the grandfather. It's either grandfather or great grandfather, but there's a grandfather on the other side that came and got her, and they might know who that is. I'm not really sure. They get a G, but I don't know where that fits. But there is a grandfather on. I don't know if it's a grandfather on this side. So I wonder if they put, I don't know. I can't understand what she's saying about that. So I'm just going to leave it for now. But she shows me, you know, those flower lays.
Yeah.
She shows one being put in the water.
Okay.
I don't know if they did that or if anybody did that. But you know how sometimes they do that at the ocean where they put the lays in the water and just kind of like let it float out? I'm getting the chills with that. I don't know if anybody's done that. But I see like this lay of flowers being going out into the water. And it might be symbolic, but I don't know.
Well, her grandpa that's on this side was there. That's why I'm kind of curious of what
I don't know. She keeps talking about, okay, because so there's a grandfather figure on the other side that met with her. Like, he's the one that came and got her. And I don't even know if he even knew her in this life. I'm not really sure. I just know, like, he comes across as like a fatherly figure, like grandfatherly figure. But then there's a grandfather on this side, and that could, like, again, grandfather is grandfather, great grandfather, you know, and they don't have to know him. It's just someone that comes and gets them. So then there's a grandfather on this side that she's talking about, like, having a really hard time with it.
Yes.
But it's like she says that he wants to believe that there's more to this because it makes him feel better.
Yeah.
He wants to have someone to blame. Is how she comes across with it, instead of accepting it. She said he's not accepting of it.
Right.
And so he wants to, and she says, you know, again, she takes responsibility. And I hear, I'm sorry, Grandpop.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she called him that, like Grandpop or something like that. I don't know if they were really close either, because it comes across as like kind of relationship I had with my grandfather, like growing up, like we were really close. It comes across as that, like he was kind of more of a father to her at times and would show her things and all of that. Like, I don't know, there's something with her car. I don't know if he helped work on it or helped get it or something. I don't really, I just see him in like the car.
Yeah.
And like, maybe, I don't know if he changed the oil for her or something, like, I don't know. I hear it's all right. You can let me go now.
Aw.
And that was hard for me to say for some reason.
I know he sat out there the whole time she was being pulled out, so.
Yeah, that was really hard on him. I feel like he's got nightmares over that. And she's like, but she's talking about the whole thing, like justice for Kylie, and but she's like, there is no justice. Like, there's nobody to bring to justice for this. She's like, yeah, maybe my friends should have made different decisions, but they're all teenagers like I am.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like she was kind of a loner at times. It's kind of weird. It's like she's popular and stuff, but then she's kind of like a loner and kind of like outcast, like feeling like as she would do things on her own.
Yeah.
Very independent is how she comes across.
Right.
My head is hurting again. I always get a headache with her. So I don't know if at some point she hit her head or there's something there with that, but I don't know. Trying to see if there's anything else I can get. So I get the word limelight, but like I don't know if that's like her and how like she's been in the limelight, but it's like she doesn't like it. Like she doesn't like all this attention. I get the words like I kind of just want to be left alone. Like she's on the other side now, just like let it be. Like nothing can be changed is what she's talking about. Nothing can be changed, nothing can be undone. People are gonna still argue over if it was drowning, if it was not drowning, if it was this, if it was that. And she's like, things are as they are.
Right.
I feel like she has a special duty on the other side. She shows me that she is learning how to help souls transition.
Okay.
When it comes to passings of this sort. Because I see her taking hands of people. I even see her helping children. But she's like taking their hands and helping them, into the light if they're struggling or whatever. Like she's and kind of I hear like showing the ropes. So she has an important purpose on the other side, just as she had an important purpose here. And it's almost like this, this was supposed to happen to like teach people something. And I don't really know exactly what it's supposed to teach people. Maybe not to make stupid decisions, she says.
Right.
But that's just her like kind of being a smart ass about it. But she's like, I'm okay, I'm happy. I lived my life the way I wanted to on my terms.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. That was one thing. She comes across as a very free-spirited person. And like that's how she was. Yeah. And there was something about her that caught people's attention. And that's why people were so drawn to this case, because it's something about her. And again, something that's supposed to come out of this. I don't know. I feel like it's possible that there might be something that comes out of this, whether they put lighting out there, whether things change, or there's some kind of I don't really know. because accidents seem to happen a lot in the water is what she's saying. Like this seems to happen a lot. So I'm not really sure what kind of change it could bring, but she's talking about like some kind of change.
Okay.
And I keep hearing the word memorial. I mean, I think I know that there's one out there, but I don't know if she's just saying that to let us know if she knows. But I don't know if they have like it's almost like her family has something try to understand this. So sometimes I'll get like a bench or I mean it could be the memorial that's at the lake, but this feels more like her family thing.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, I know she's not buried, so it wouldn't be at a cemetery, but maybe wherever they're going to go, they have a bench dedicated to her or something like that. And it might even be something like in the community. I'm not really sure. But I keep seeing a bench, which means there's going to be something that's dedicated in her honor. And again, I don't know if this is like from Truckee or this is for her family by themselves. Because they also show me like, those little angel statues.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what that's about. I don't know. I just see those things.
Okay.
And okay. She's like, please, just I want my mom just to know I love her. Like that's like super important because she didn't have any last words with her other than through text. So and I think her mom keeps that text and looks over it, or there's a reference to keeping text and keeping phone calls as well. But specifically that text. But I see her mom crying a lot. Like her mom is crying a lot and she's having a really hard time with it, a lot of guilt with it. So it's like she's like, people be kind is what I hear. Like be kind.
Yeah.
She gives that lesson of you don't know until you've walked in someone's shoes.
Yeah.
So be kind and non-judgmental is what she's saying. She says if everybody was more kind and non-judgmental, the world would be a different place. And and I get chills with that. And that's a lesson that I mean, she has an old soul.
Yeah.
Because she's coming through with a lot of wisdom here.
Yeah.
I hear piano music. I don't know what the heck that's about. I don't know if she used to play piano or she did used to play piano.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good validation then because I didn't know that. Because I like hear piano music going off in my mind and I just keep hearing the piano music. I don't know if it's a specific song or like what, other than just okay. I understand you played piano. Thank you very much for that validation. I appreciate that. And I'm like seeing a bunch of hearts, so possibly for those everybody because she says I know that this whole thing touched a lot of people in good ways and in bad ways, and I just want to thank everybody for the good ways. She says not so much the bad ways. I'm not as not appreciative of that, but the good ways I am very appreciative of. And like she's thankful for like the people that looked for her. Like she's talking about like searchers and family and friends and all of that. And people that weren't making conspiracies out of it and stuff like that. Because I really feel she really comes across as she doesn't want anybody else to really be blamed or pointed fingers at or anything like that, especially her mom. Like that's a big thing for her. Like she says, I get the word respect. Like she wants respect. And as you can see, she's a very strong spirit, and she's more strong now than she was like a couple months ago because she's transitioned. She's kind of learned and everything.
Right.
And she just says it was time. It was time to speak.
Yeah.
I wanted my voice to be heard, and I know you would do it right. Thank you, Kylie. And I think that's because even though there was times I tried to waver, I didn't.
Yes.
And she's like, I just want the truth. Like, I hope I perceived everything correctly. I don't know. What is the reference to New Year's? I don't know. She's got like champagne and she's like doing like a cheers, but it's almost like New Year's. So I don't know if she went to a New Year's party or it's this, I don't know if it's different last year, this year. I'm not really sure, but there's reference to a New Year's party.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what that is, or New Year's celebration, I should say. I just keep hearing the words, be kind.
Yeah.
Kind, be respectful, please. And I also hear the words, let it go.
Yes.
She's like, this has gone on long enough. This has been, she shows me literal circus. Like I see freaking clowns and everything right now in my head. Like I'm at a 3-ring damn circus. That's what she's showing me. Elephants go, like whatever you would see at a circus. That's what she's showing me.
Yeah.
That's what she's calling it. And, she just says, not cool, not cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious if she used those words because I keep getting like not cool.
My kid says it all the time, and
Okay.
she's the same age as Kylie, or around the same age as Kylie.
Right.
So I wouldn't doubt it.
She's showing me she's standing in a field of flowers with butterflies like flying around her, and I think that's funny because if you look at the picture I put, she's got I put butterfly wings because I couldn't find an angel one. So
Did you?
Yeah. And it's funny because she's showing me that because I was like trying to find one and it was almost like I picked that for her. And she's showing me like butterflies flying around. So that's her way that she's gonna come to people as well. Butterflies. Yeah, but she's free like butterflies. Butterflies is a sign of transformation, by the way. Okay. So it's always a kind of symbolic thing for that. But she's showing me like a field of flowers with all these butterflies around her. She looks beautiful. I see her like in one of those like white flowy dresses. Her hair's down. She's smiling. She's even got like a ring of flowers like around like this. Like that's how she's kind of showing me her on the other side. In the light. Okay. So just to, let everybody know that that's where she is. And I keep hearing like, I don't know why. I don't know if she used to call like her grandpa because it's almost like I keep hearing grandpa. And or something along those lines, like, or she had a nickname for him, but I hear thank you to him because I feel like he might have taught her a lot growing up, or again, it comes in like maybe they were close at one point. Right. And she's showing me Sammy, and it's thank you, Lisa. She's kind of worried about her. Because she says she drinks too much.
Okay.
She says she drinks too much, she parties too much, and part of it is she has guilt for not taking me with her that night. But I still kind of feel like maybe she tried to, but maybe Kylie wasn't ready to go, or there's something like that kind of feeling. Yeah. But it's like she has a lot of guilt, like she should have stayed with her. And we all have those times where we look back on our lives and we're like, man, I should have done that differently. And that's kind of where she's at. And, she's like, a lot of people don't like her for various reasons. And that's just because that's just the kind of person she is. And, but she doesn't like that she's kind of been picked apart either. Right. She says she's still a human being. She still has to live this life. And although she was part of the soul contract with her, it's Like, she kind of just wishes people would leave her alone. Like, she doesn't understand what she's going through. I
Yeah.
feel like she's self-medicating with alcohol and whatnot, and she's partying way too much. Because she keeps showing me that, like, she's partying way too much. Like, she's concerned she's gonna make a stupid decision,
Yeah.
either drink too much or get in an accident or something like that. Like, she's concerned about that.
Yeah.
And she said part of the reason would be people pointing fingers at her because they're making everything 50 times worse
Yeah.
than if they would have just left her alone. It's because she's saying she doesn't know how to handle her emotions.
Yeah.
And part of the reason she's saying that she threw herself into the limelight was because the guilt. It was the guilty kind of feeling, like she felt guilt, but she wanted to find her.
Yeah.
I don't like looking into that. I don't feel there was anything sinister with it. Other than she says she's that type of person, like bossy. She's like says that she's kind of bossy and a little controlling. But she says we're all learning and growing as we go through life, no matter what age we are. And so she says specifically, when we're teenagers and whatnot, we're trying to learn and navigate the world, and we don't always make the best decisions. And she's just talking about how she's a little concerned. Like again, I don't feel they were really close, but friends are friends.
Right.
And like I feel like she's still kind of, cared for her, and she's concerned about her behavior.
Yeah.
And she's like, I hope that she can get straight. She's blowing kisses, and she's like, thank you, beautiful people, for letting me speak my truth and talk and say everything I wanted to say. She's like, I get that you can let me go now. Like, it's time to leave it alone.
Okay.
Because she's okay and she's happy, and there's no point to keep going with this.
Yeah.
And she's blowing kisses, and she's just saying, I get a lot of thank you from her.
Oh.
So she had a lot to say, and that was it's different. When I do readings with you, it's more flowy.
Yeah.
Then if I'm like sitting there, I'm like it,
Right.
you know what I mean? When I'm sitting there doing that, like, it's kind of just like I'm trying to get it, but I don't know. It's weird. It's different. The readings seem different. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but
So there's one thing with the music I wanted to bring up though.
Okay.
I think it's her grandpa that gave her a guitar. I saw a video. It was around Thanksgiving, so I'm not sure if it was around like for New Year's, but she was sitting down singing.
Okay.
And playing the guitar, but I'm not sure if it was Christmas, New Year's, but I saw the Christmas tree, so it was around
Did she
that
play
time.
piano too, though?
I'm pretty sure I saw a picture with her by the piano.
Okay. I mean, it could just be a musical instrument, but I was hearing piano music.
Yeah.
And that's just because I relate to that because I played piano.
Yeah. Well, if you're playing the guitar, you can play piano too, right?
Yeah, I mean, some people can.
I'm pretty sure I saw a picture, but
And it was almost like I don't know if it was maybe when she was younger kind of thing is what it comes across, like she was younger. But I mean, I wanted to give her a chance to speak.
Yeah.
I feel like she had a lot to say, and I don't care if people agree with what she had to say or not, because that's her words, not mine, and I'm just the channel. So, like I'm saying, don't bring your hate around here, because I'll just block you and delete you, because those were Kylie's words, and I'm going to respect them.
Yeah.
I always respect what Spirit says, and
Right.
everybody else should too.
Yeah.
Because they weren't there, they don't know, and they don't know her relationships, they don't know her life, they're not living her life, they don't know. So I'm just putting that out there so that, because I know some people are probably going to come at me for something she said, but it wasn't me.
Yeah. Well, you've never gotten anybody with Kylie anyway, so.
Huh?
You've never gotten anybody with her ever.
No.
So.
No. Because the very first time I got anything on her, it was before I even knew she was missing.
Yeah.
And I told you, I said I cargo in the water.
Yeah.
So then I posted it and everybody's like, oh, what about this girl? And I was like, oh yeah, it probably belongs to her. It makes the most sense.
Yeah.
She was driving in that vision and there was no one in the car with her. And that was a pure vision.
Right.
That I was given before anything else.
Yeah. It was a couple days before.
Yeah. It was a couple days before, huh?
Yeah.
And then I posted, and then somebody's like, oh, is it this girl? And I was like, you know what? Probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a pure vision, and it was her by herself, kind of just like driving into the water.
Right.
And I think too, like when she kept giving me that repeating vision of her kind of sinking down in the water with her seatbelt on, you guys got to remember the water was 25 feet. So it was, but it's also symbolic for I'm just in the water. Even if she probably did have her seatbelt on for a point in time, then she took it off and tried to get out. But she was probably showing me she had it on when she went in the water, but it was just a lot of symbolic things.
Right.
That maybe it could be that she was driving and that's why she showed me her with the seatbelt on, like no one else was driving her kind of thing. Like that could be symbolic for the seatbelt that I saw on her. That doesn't mean she didn't take it off. It's just that she had one on when she went in. Is kind of how it came across. And then like obviously she wasn't floating like way down, but again, symbolic for being in the water. So
yeah.
So that's what she had to say. And again, it's almost like her and Jolissa were kind of like standing there taking turns on the second reading. It was like she said this, and then right when it got dark, here pops in Jolissa. And then it was like Jolissa's like, this is what happened to me this weekend. Yeah. And then it popped back into Kylie. So and it was weird as I totally thought it was a Reno couple because I kept seeing a car crash through trees, which that was because it was like the trees were higher up on that one.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see anything with Kylie until they were found. It was kind of weird. And then it was Kylie like had to be found. And then so I had 3 separate visions. I had to decide where they went, and I should have re-listened to that reading because I was like, if I would have re-listened to it, I would have known it was her. Because when I saw it, I was like, when I re-listened to it, I was like, oh my gosh, that was Jolissa. This whole time, like she showed me clearly what happened. But it gets kind of confusing, when you're looking for one and another one pops in and gives you something completely different that's not water.
Right.
That was a little, but that's an interconnect because they're similar cases. They're,
all 3 with the car.
Yeah, it was the same weekend. They're missing with their car. They're out by themselves driving. Yeah. They're both kind of under the influences. They're, around. They're both young. It's kind of just like, that's how my interconnects work, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately. It's kind of confusing, but they do it for a reason. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed what Kylie had to say. And again, I don't want no lip from no one. Because it wasn't me, it was her. All right. Yeah. And if anybody knows her family and they think that they'd want to listen at one point, ask them first. Don't just go sending it to them. I try to remain respectful of people's beliefs and whatnot. It was really just so that Kylie got to say what she wanted to say. And hopefully if it ever gets back to them, they get their message. And so that's why I did it. So thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. And I hope you guys enjoyed the reading.
I did.
Okay. I know. There were sometimes I got chills. I was hoping this thing would go off.
Chills almost the whole time.
I was hoping this thing would go off. It went off in the beginning and it didn't go off again.
Right.
Darn it. Sometimes she doesn't need to be real strong in here, Yeah. That's only if her energy is like right here, basically. Right. That's going to go off. Yeah. And they never mess with the cat balls. The light's set up too, but they never do nothing with the they never do nothing with the light. Yeah, the cat balls. So
where's your flashlight?
It's right here. I told you it's tiny.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I had it see, it's hard to, I think it's kind of hard to turn. I have it like barely, but I don't know if that's the right one to be using. But I thank you, Lisa, for your super sticker. It is much appreciated. Very much.
I thought it was the reflection from the EMF for some odd reason.
No, it's the flashlight, but I don't know. I think maybe it's too hard to turn or something. Like I had it and then I had it bright. I should have probably left it, but when I picked it up, it went off and I couldn't get it to turn back off until I turned it.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, it's a turn one, but it's kind of hard to turn. So I don't know if they can actually do that. I need to find a better one, maybe. I don't know. I don't know which one to get. So
Get the teddy bear.
I need a better one though, because I want one that they can mess with, you know.
Yeah.
Because those are kind of cool. Whenever they turn them on and off.
Yeah.
I've seen them do that. I mean, I've seen them turn it on and off before with yes and no questions.
Right. So cool.
So just need a better one that they can maneuver.
Right.
So if anybody knows one, send me a link so that I can come up with it. Yeah. All right. I guess that's it. Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Freaking headache. What the heck? I'm telling you, my computer is weird or something.